Hello everyone and welcome on board to this reading. I have had some cards showing up for me lately that I would just like to present to you too. Maybe you resonate with their vibes as well. As I'm shooting this video on May 12th, it could be that there are some full moon messages for us since we're having the full moon in Scorpio today on 22 degrees in Scorpio. So find that point in your chart to find out what area this is all about for you. But I'm not sure that there will be messages that is resonating with the full moon yet. There could be. We're just going to go along and find out what is coming through for us. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome on board. My name is Luna. I am recording my videos from Denmark, Scandinavia. I'm working with Tarot, Astrology, Metaphysics, Ufology. I'm just a normal citizen who's asking a lot of questions because I'm just curious and I just want to know what's going on beneath the surface. To those of you who are following me regularly from Denmark in my Danish videos, a warm welcome to you too. I know that there are some of you that are following my videos in English as well. Remember that there's always more info down below the video, and remember to give it a like or a share if you find that the content in my videos is interesting and could be interesting for others as well. And I hope that you are taking great care of yourself right now in this extremely transforming world. Things are moving so fast and it's really difficult for us to have a bigger overview of things because there are a lot of things that are shifting. There are a lot of things that are aligning anew. So there's a lot of hope and new stuff coming into the world that we are also integrating. We can feel it in our mentality, in our feelings, in our actions, in our physical bodies. So remember to take great care of yourselves out there so that you can also take great care of other people that you are meeting on your path. Okay, so let's just begin by having a look at the cards showing up for me lately, and these are all from a Fairies deck I have, Brian Froud's deck. Maybe you know it as well. The first card to show up here is card number 9, the Singer of Initiation. I will just read you a little bit on the cards in a minute. The blue color might be a color that you are resonating with personally, card number 9. Then we have card number 24, the Piper. The Piper, or the Flute Man, as I like to call him. This is about harmony, also music, also something about music of seduction. Seduction could also be about Scorpio energies. We have card number 64, gotcha. So maybe some kind of surprise is showing up here. Card at the bottom of the deck is card number 42, Make the Meier. Okay, so he's like the overall energy is like, remember to read or look for the messages, they could be hidden. Okay, I will just pick up my Fairies book and read you a little bit. Okay, so let's have a look at card number 9. And just take this with you, however it resonates. Maybe it's just one or two of the cards you want to go with. So, but this card is talking about passage through trial. It's talking about triumph and new level. And it says breakthrough. Drawing this card notifies us that significant change and challenge are both occurring in our lives, with the potential for moving into a new realm, which involves a new way of being. This major change has been building for a long time, and the moment is now here to meet this challenge. We may already be aware of the initiation process, but perhaps have only seen it as bad luck or fate. It is neither. It is an opportunity to see if we have, deep down, truly learned the lessons we have been working on and are willing to apply them in our lives. Okay, so there is something new going on here. There is a new way of thinking. Also what I was talking about, that we are integrating something here maybe from with the number 9, I'm thinking a lot about Scorpio energies, and it's also representing perhaps house number 9 in our chart, which is about expansion and traveling out there. So tuning into what is the meaning of life, really, what is our own personal life philosophy. So let's have a look at card number 24. And this is about music, order, harmony, seduction, as I mentioned before, and empathy. So to get what you want, the Piper recommends that you try polite requests and gentle, patient persuasion, and then wait quietly, welcoming it for it to come to you. Seek harmony and tranquility in you and in the world around you. Use tenderness and gentleness. This card speaks of a time of harmony, creativity, and increasing order. It tells of communication without words, the music of empathy, and the awareness of the feelings and concerns of others. So this is also a time to pay attention to the subtlety of others' expressions of feelings and ideas. Look past the surface and listen as you would to a beguiling melody on the very edge of hearing. Okay, so he's also playing the melodies in our dreams, which may be filled with meaning and importance, and then he leaves it up to us to understand what they mean. Okay, so maybe some of you will find that especially here during the full moon you are having a lot of dreams. There's a lot of activity going on. It feels as if you haven't slept. I'm sorry, my nose is just running here big time. It's coming alive here. Maybe you find that when you wake up in the morning it feels as if you haven't slept at all because you've been traveling around the world 10 times during the night. So pay attention to your dreams as well during nighttime. But also feels that he's talking about the dreams we have for our lives. Again, back to card number 9. What is meaningful to us? What is our own personal life philosophy? Okay, and then card number 65, Gotcha, is talking about sudden shock, unexpected events, and rude awakenings. And I cannot help to think that this could be a reference to Uranus, which is right now in Taurus, where we have the sun during the full moon. Okay, so that is really about expecting the unexpected, changing your course. Also this like awakening, doing something different, tuning into some kind of higher awareness. And this card is saying that Gotcha in a reading speaks to us of sudden, often violent breakdowns of existing structures, habits, patterns, and or attitudes. When we become too tightly confined by our own self-imposed limitations, Gotcha kindly breaks the structure restraining us, whether we think we want him to or not. On a soul level, we know this to be necessary, but in our everyday thoughts we usually get pretty upset about it. However, breakdown can lead to breakthrough. Back to this card. This is liberation, and we often haven't a clue what to do with it. This is usually the beginning of a period of confusion, even disorientation, while we search for a way forward. Uranus is also about visions and the future. Although we may think we are simply searching for a way back to what we had before. And he's recommending us, Gotcha, here, that we do not try to pick up the pieces and put them back like they were. Consider instead what you would like to build in that part of your life. And this time, remember to leave room for growth. Okay? So, and the overall card number 42, make the mind. So he's talking about small clues and details, the messages everywhere, and patience. And he's saying that attention to details is important at this time. Little things are not only important in themselves, but they also give you important information about larger things. Look for the inner hidden meaning in ordinary objects, happenings, and experiences. Life is trying to teach you something by speaking to you gently. With luck and application, you will get the message before it has to speak to you more loudly. Yes, let's do hope for that. So as I mentioned before, just go with one of the cards or maybe all of the cards. But overall, this is an important time where there seems to be, it's like we're walking around in a big great hologram, right? We're trying to connect all the dots, connecting all the loose ends, and maybe we are seeing something new in symbols and in colors. I know that that's been opening up quite a lot for me, so it's going on a lot in the world, is my impression at this time, that we all sense that there is some kind of deeper change and transformation into a new world. Okay, so let's look at the card that came out from this card deck, which is about moving out there in the universe. Card number 21, Spiritual Rebirth, it says here. So a lot of fire energy going on. Scorpio is about fire and water. So again, it could be a reference back to that. But let's just put the card over here. And since there was just one card showing up for me from this card deck, I will just see if there are other cards that would like to come out and speak to us today. Okay, we have one more card. Okay, let's go with that one then. We have card number 35, Ancestral Lineages. And this ancestral lineages and going back to our roots is also something that's been showing up quite a lot in my private readings. So take that with you. 3 plus 5 is 8, and that will lead us back to the 8th house in the chart, in the zodiac, where we have Scorpio energies again. Okay, so that is about exchange of resources, whereas Taurus is showing the way back to ourselves and how good we are, or perhaps lack of the same, to bring something to ourselves so that we also have something to bring out into the world. Okay, let's just see. Okay, we will put the cards up here, I think, where I think you can see them better in the background. Okay, so some kind of spiritual rebirth, and there is something going on with our spiritual ancestors as well, our ancestral lineage. Okay, we will just rearrange this. Okay, a bigger rearrangement perhaps coming into the world as well. Okay, so let's move on, and let's have some headlines for some of this, and let's see where this is taking us. I will just rearrange the camera here so that you can see the cards a little bit better here. Okay, so let's see what's coming out here when we are talking about, like, again, light, plasma, and the water here, maybe Scorpio energies as well. This is about wisdom coming in, could be back to the 9th house, Sagittarius, Jupiter, expansion, more knowledge, where we are turning it into wisdom through just living our lives, actually. So there's a deeper dive, there is more wisdom coming in here, alongside with purification. Okay, so there's a lot of water going on. With the sunflower here, it also reminds us about going home. The sun, which is about everything that we come with. It's our personality. There's a cleansing here and purification. We're taking a deeper dive under the surface, way down, swimming around with the fish, trying to figure out the deeper truth, the deeper meaning in things. So there is also a lot of darkness over here that could be Pluto, and over here we have the sun, right? So bright light and maybe stuff coming up from the deepest parts of our subconscious, okay, which is all about Pluto. So let's pull some tarot cards to see where all this is leading us. But there could be some, I would say, even though this is about rude awakenings perhaps, it could also be pleasant surprises, okay? So if some of you have been dealing with crisis or traumas, that is all Pluto stuff. Something is showing up here that will just wash things clean. We will experience deep healing, and of course going through it means thinking it, feeling it, taking action on it, okay? We cannot jump around it or jump over it or swim under it, how much we may be trying to do that. Okay, we have card number 4, 4 of Cups coming in here. Harmony, growth in our feelings, using our intuition. You can call it your soul. There is like this lending a hand or a shoulder for someone to cry on. To bring growth to that person actually means that we sometimes need to take some time out from our calendar to sit down and actually listen to someone who's going through the hard stuff. That is also something that is coming back to us. We also gain from that. We also become bigger people, a greater person, when we just sit down and say, you know what, take all the time you need. I have all the time in the world to give you, to listen to you, to open up. Because it is a hard time when we are leaving something behind that we feel we're deeply engaged in. Maybe there's a door that has been shut for us, or maybe we have been forced maybe sometimes to close a door to something that we cared about. That is difficult to move through that. When we are living in a world that is so busy and overpopulated, and where we are living our lives in so many different directions, in those times it is difficult to move through a crisis. And so we just need to remember each other here and be there for each other, supporting each other through growing and becoming more integrated with our soul. Okay, so of course this is mostly for the collective here. Of course I'm doing this reading, but take it with you on a more personal level. Maybe you want to go check out your 4th house here. Maybe some of you have a water sign in your 4th house, and this is definitely for you. And the 4th house is also about our home. We have another Cups coming out. New beginnings. Ace of Cups. It's talking about happiness. Becoming one with ourself. Okay? So a lot of emotional stuff is going on here, and since we have Pluto right now retrograde in Aquarius, and we have Uranus in Taurus meeting the Sun during the full moon, and Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, there is a lot of potential for new stuff coming in and becoming more aware of what's going on in the world, feeling more free, getting a better overview of things perhaps, integrating that as well in our feelings, that we start to connect more with our astral bodies, where we are picking up on cosmic emotional impulses, okay, that we are beginning to actually feeling one with ourself, and through that with the entire universe. we have 10 of Wands coming in here. Yeah, so since we're so emotionally engaged here, since our feelings are at work, we are very tired when it comes to our life force energy. We feel that right now we almost don't have the energy to come to you know, go to work and get through all of our daily routines. There's a lot here, but we need to stay committed. There's a lot of movement right now. And again, we have fire and we have water. Okay, so again, Scorpio energy, which is talking about also, of course, rebirth, like the spiritual card in the background in the beginning of the reading. So we need to stay committed at this time. Okay, so we still need to get the job done. So even though we may feel tired, we need to get back on the horse and get the job done. Okay, so it's just to underline the importance or the significance of recognizing that we are exhausted, but that we're doing it anyway. So if you feel at this moment that you are extremely tired all the time, it is because your subconsciousness is working on a very deep level. There is new wisdom being pulled up to the surface and all the way out in our life force energy, so that we will feel in what direction we need to take action on next time that we're doing something. Okay, so stay committed to our life force energy. There's a lot of movement going on in the world, and just know that we are trying to figure out on a deeper level what is really going on here, and we can feel it. And there are new stuff coming in here. Something is being handed to us, coming up from deep down the ocean. Vroom. And the dove is coming down here, the peace dove perhaps. But a lot of growth is being offered to us if we would like to receive it. This is also about being receptive, okay, and being open. Extremely important if we really want to integrate new ways of taking action and new ways of being committed to inspiration and wisdom. Okay, the bottom of the card deck we have 8 of Swords. Okay, so 8 of Swords is talking about that right now at this time we feel that we are prisoners. Okay, we're having a hard time now as a citizen in the world. We need to fight for our rights. We need to fight for our money. We need to fight for our speech of freedom. So this is a time that is calling for, again, I'm being led back to Aquarius, which is about feeling free, human rights, okay? And we are in prison right now at this time. We are overlooking each other. We feel that people don't want to listen to us. People don't want to hear what we have to say. We feel that we need to defend our visions and our thinking process. Whatever it is that we have an opinion about, people don't feel like hearing it. They don't want to hear it. So whenever we've been out and about and talking with people and we come back home and shut the door and we're sitting in our own living room again, we try to mend all the stuff that has been hurtful because we have not had a single genuine conversation. So, and perhaps also in our mentality we have been quite closed off to whatever might have been going on around us and deeper within us. It's something that we find out now that we feel that we've been kind of we have not been allowed to talk about this, or that's how it feels, you know. I'm talking about feelings and talking about interdimensional stuff and UFOs and whatever's going on when we are traveling out of ourself, out of our personality. We find that, wow, there could be something bigger going on, but we have been locked up in that perception. And maybe that is something that is changing right now. Let's just pull some cards from this tarot card deck. So it is a time where we need to mend what has been mentally broken, and where we feel that maybe something has been hidden for us, something we haven't been able to see clearly. And mentally here we have been working ourselves up from Ace of Swords and now up to Eight of Swords. So a lot is going on in the way we are thinking about ourselves in the world. And also right now I'd like to say that there's a lot of sunstorms going on. There's a lot of geomagnetism, I think it's called, going on right now. So if you feel that in your bodies, you will feel like you're getting triggered a lot. And you just can't seem to get an answer on that. Where is it coming from? What is it that you are all of a sudden feeling so upset about? What's going on? You can't figure it out because there is no one perhaps in your surroundings that is who's triggering you in a certain way. You just can't figure out what is the answer to this, and responding to that, to those geomagnetism, that could be some of the answer. We are also the four elements, okay? We also respond to plasma and to water. And sometimes I think we seem to forget that. It's not to say that it's simple, but it's just we live in a world that is somehow controlled by the four elements. Maybe we're the fifth element, right? That we are also responding to that interaction. Okay, so we have Seven of Swords coming out. This is a time to listen to, you could say, our own personal truths are coming out here. Things are coming out in the open. So whatever has been hidden for us, it's coming out here. So also listen to yourself at this moment. What is your truth about what you want in your life and your life philosophy? Where is it that you would like to see your life expand? Maybe through taking some journeys, spiritual journeys even perhaps. So a physical journey that is also a spiritual journey for you. And for some of you, maybe you would just like to travel out here through meditation and having a deeper dive into why the thoughts you are having, why are they even coming up? You know, dive deeper into that. Could be words also, or maybe even lyrics also. Okay, so whatever's been hidden is coming out in the open. Follow your own truth in life as well. And I'm also hearing Freddie Mercury, you know, I want to be free, break free. There's something about that song. We had the Hermit, card number 9, Major Arcana card. Normally it looks like this in its normal upright position, right? The Hermit, spiritual searcher, healing, Virgo energies. But here it's talking about perhaps, I wouldn't say hating the world, but there is definitely something about distrusting our surroundings. We want to be in our cave here. We're not ready to move on. We don't feel like that. And there's just something about, I'm getting the word misanthropy as well. There's something here that we are not going to like, where we would rather just stay in our cave. We don't want to get out in the wind, because here with the swords is about the air. Maybe some would just like to sit in their caves while all of this is going on. Someone would just like to hide themselves, perhaps, because they would like to avoid being spiritually healed. They don't want to be healed, perhaps. They're trying to hide away from the truth here. Okay. They won't like that. He's kind of looking back or down on these two swords. And maybe the truth is hidden down here. I'm here in the cavemen. Something hidden in the cave. Something is not, whatever is coming up here is not an energy that really has asked to be healed. It's something that is being discovered. We have Two of Swords. Yeah, and it's something that we definitely have not been able to see coming. This is something that we could not have figured out, not even using our deepest emotions or doing a lot of soul work, almost psychedelic work. This is something that is where we have been completely blindfolded. And we even have the moon here. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, so there's definitely coming something in here. So yes, I think we have a great representation of the full moon in Scorpio. Okay, but there's something here that we've been blindfolded to, that we could not figure out. We have not seen this coming. Okay, so get ready for some big surprises. This could also be a lot of competition, competitive energy here. They don't want this out because they see the outer world as a competition, right? Where we now with Aquarian energies should look at the world as a one big fat planet of cooperation, okay? Okay, the bottom of this card deck is Page of Cups, also a card that's been showing up lately in my readings. Okay, so in my personal readings. So Page of Cups, this is about love, unconditional love. Doing things just because we can, just because we feel like doing it. How much does it cost? It's free. Love is free, and yet we also know that sometimes we have to pay the biggest price, right? Because the biggest price of loving and being caring and show affection for other people and compassion and empathy. Well, when we sometimes see that things or people, situations are leaving our lives, we're paying the price of having felt all of that. But wouldn't we rather have felt all of that and knowing that we would risk, with the risk of losing it, rather than not have felt that at all? I definitely know I would go through that, because that is the price we pay for love. So even though love is free, it could cost us everything. But that's life, right? So let's just have a look at, since we have some swords cards here, that is of the masculine, and then the Hermit in reverse is very much talking about the feminine. Here we have feminine, masculine, and feminine, masculine up here, and feminine here. So there is this yin yang also going on, that maybe we are trying to, that we have been blindfolded towards the masculine within ourselves if we are female, and the other way around as well. We have been blindfolded here. We have been in this cave. There's a lot of fighting going on, a lot of swearing and a lot of arguing. But whatever's been hidden in this cave, we have been completely blind to it. I mean, there are truths coming out here that we could definitely not have discovered or figured out, you know. Not even with the recent discoveries that are being made quite fast, right? It's changing almost from day to day. But this is like gotcha. It's like he said, did you get that? And the first shot could be like thunder, right? Boom, and we get all scared and frightened up. And okay, so the sun just disappeared outside, and the next boom, the next thunder, that will not shake us up as much. Maybe we'll just laugh at how frightened we got the first time. Okay, so, and it's like, maybe it's time to start opening our eyes again after we've been sitting perhaps using both hands to cover our eyes. Then after this shocking revealing, we dare to open our eyes again and have a look at it and trying to figure out what was that really? How scary was it? Okay, and maybe we'll just figure out that, okay, was that all of it? That was of course scary, but not something that we cannot fix. Maybe there's a lot of forgiveness that needs to see the day of light here. So at this time it's very important that we don't let ourselves be seduced. That could also be seduction in this. Not to let us allow ourselves to be blindfolded, that we're just too scared to recognize these truths coming out, you know, that we don't want that. We don't want to see that. Because this could bring up a lot of hate. And we don't need more hate in the world. Okay, we need this one to show up now. Cooperation. Maybe naivete, but in the most constructive way of the word. Like believing in the good. Okay? Maybe not even believing it, but taking action on it. Okay? This is also a time with Aquarius that we are starting to wake up to science, to facts, and finding out that this is not about what you believe in. This is how you're taking action on things, on your feelings. That what you sense and what you feel, that is a fact. Even though it's been hidden, that's what is beginning now to come out, maybe through communication, that we are beginning to talk about this. Will I feel like this? Will I sense like that? That could be a fact in itself. That could be linked together with science. Okay, back to the 4 elements as I mentioned before. Okay, so let's see, since we have some swords cards here, let's see what is it that is trying to come through. Maybe also that we are trying to read the signs. You know, if you're seeing a lot of cats maybe, or you see the color blue or the number 9. We also have a lot of 4s here. Maybe if you see that number. Look into that. What is it that you sense? What is it that you feel? What is it that you're thinking about when those signs are showing up for you? So definitely we are entering a world with using symbols much more than we used to, and finding out that even letters and numbers, they have specific meanings. Romantic love, that is one. Geometric figure here. This card is saying the frequency of romantic love supports our experience to know ourselves through the reflection of a conscious lover. Okay, so since Scorpio is about our sexual organs, it is about sexual energy, it is about two becoming one, it is about metamorphosis. Okay, it's change on a deeper level. It's about Kundalini energy. So try to love yourself. Try to love yourself unconditionally. Just accepting your self or your own personality with every little inch of it. Okay? have a look at different sides of yourself, and love every side of yourself, because then it becomes much easier for us to love whatever it is that is showing up here. We have to love that as well, because it is an aspect of ourself. And I have a ringing in my right ear right now. Okay, so let's have a look at the other card coming out. Number 35, sensitivity, could be back to our ancestral lineages. The card we had in the background in the beginning of the reading. Okay, and here again, the water and the light. Something is shining through. We need to look up. When we're swimming here, down here, deep down, we need to look up to catch the light, to be able to know which way is the right way home. The frequency of sensitivity helps us open to the world of subtlety and detail while anchoring in a structural foundation, thus supporting us to become more fully multi-dimensional. Okay, back to the two water cards here, and also there was a card up here mentioning a new structure being, coming in while the old structure is being ripped apart. That is very much Saturn in Pisces right now, also until the beginning of 2026, where we need to break the karma, figure out now, while Pluto is showing us the patterns of incarnation. When we have figured that out, we also know how to change our response to it, our actions towards it. And that's how we are breaking our karma, which is action, and which is Saturn. And that's when we're entering into our Dharma. Okay, but there's some work that needs to be done here, but definite sensitivity. Something is cracking open here. New structures are coming in. So let's see if we can have another headline to all of that. Let's just see what's going on here. And I would also like to point out that the card number 21 here could also be a reference to the World card in the Major Arcana deck, which is about completion and fulfillment. Having done the job and getting ready to enter into a new kind of state, mental state here, but also a new emotional state. So let's see what else is coming out here. Are there any cards here? Okay, 3 cards. Great. Let's have a look at the first one. 42. Back to make the Meier. The word wants to be written. Okay, so maybe some of you want to journal your way out of this, to write down what is coming through. As I mentioned before, what is it that you're thinking or feeling when you're seeing a specific number, a specific color? It is about your aura field expanding here, but what is it that is coming through to you? Because we're definitely opening up here to our higher self, okay? So while we are trying to pull that down, how are we trying to pull it down? Could be through writing it down or talking to a friend about it. Maybe you want to dance or you feel like singing. But this wants to come out. This is what we need to share with the world. Also the purple color here, a reference to our crown chakra. Next card out, 24. Okay, it's backwards here. So 24 could be about the piper, new birth, guarded, vigilantly. Okay, so there is someone on our shoulder here. The butterfly is talking about transformation, and then we have the necklace here, the pearl necklace. Could be a reference back to the moon. I brought the pearls in with me here today. So there could be something about the moon, mother, holding on, again taking action towards something that makes us feel that we still have connection with those who have passed over. So something is guarding us while we are going through these shadow sides right now, trying to get the courage to open our eyes and to walk through the world now with our eyes wide open, even though there are some harsh truths coming out. Okay, so last card, number 13, Power of Attraction. Could be that the day after this full moon, tomorrow, May 13th, that we feel that there's something powerful going on between the masculine and the feminine, right? That there is two parts becoming one. We could hope for that the dueling is over, that we're not blindfolded anymore, that we are now opening our eyes, looking into the other aspect of ourselves, that two is becoming one. The masculine is trying to find the feminine, and the feminine is trying to find the masculine, all within themselves, so that they can find that in each other as well, so that we can recognize the parts of ourselves that we have tried to, or that has been kept hidden. Maybe we've been forced to keep that hidden, but there's something that is coming alive here. We're becoming more aware, and there is something that is attracting each other here, taking the power back to ourselves, recognizing all aspects of our personality. Power is also something that Pluto is working with. So we can choose to either work with Pluto or against Pluto. I highly recommend that we try to follow Pluto, because it's once in a lifetime. Okay, so let's just wrap this reading up with a few cards, and let's just pull one card for each of these cards for those of you who might have been chosen to just go with one of them. Let's pull some cards to see. I'll just pull a card from each, or for each of those cards. Okay. And thank you so much for sharing some of your time with me here today. It's very good to know that we're not alone in this. So thank you so much for your time. I'm sending out all my love to you, wherever you may be in your life, wherever you may be at, or wherever you are in the world. Okay, first card out for this card of initiation, Singer of Initiation, Infinite Abundance, saying you're fully supported as you devote yourself to your divine life purpose. Okay, let's put it here. Okay, next card out. The Piper, Environmentalist. You're an Earth Angel who was born to protect, nurture, and teach about nature and the animals. Okay, so maybe it's that person we need to find within ourselves. I also see a lot of lavender, this back to purification over here. Okay, 64, gotcha. You're protected. You're safe and supported while you change your career. And don't forget that the full moon here is very much about resources, materialistic resources, also finances, okay? And card number 42, Nutrition. You conduct healing work with your culinary skills. Okay, so some of you are going to be busy in the kitchen. That's also a very good way to take care of ourselves, both through, taking in a lot of minerals and vitamins, but also through the process of cooking for someone else. Cooking a lovely dish for someone that you care about, or even someone you don't know. That brings a lot of pleasure and joy. Just remember how you feel about someone coming in and preparing something nurturing and well cooked for you. That makes us feel happy, and that makes us feel at home and being received. Okay, I just want to pull a few cards here. Okay, let's just go all in on the multi-dimensional now. Let's see if there are some groups here that wants to speak to us in particularly. Card number 11, the Lyrans. Just take it with you, however it resonates for you. It's talking about strength, courage, and bravery. Okay, so look up the Lyrans if you want to know more about the cat people here. I'll just pull it over here because I have a yellow cat with me over here in my readings. Okay, sensuality perhaps. But also back to Ten of Wands, working up our courage, getting the work done. Okay, let's just see if there are other groups that want to present themselves, okay? Let's just see if there are other cards that want to present themselves, or other groups. Let's see, is there anything else here that's coming in? Okay, we have two groups hand in hand, maybe yin and yang. Okay, it's card number 2, Alpha Centaurians, foresight, planning, and strategy. And then we have card number 33, the Merkaba, the 8-pointed star here. So movement, long distance travel, and excitement. So start planning for that as well. I would like to add that this card is also reminding me of Taurus, the second house energies. So maybe you want to move a little bit slowly here before you take action. It's about how to play that chess, not to play that jazz, but how to play that chess. Okay, so follow that group if you feel for it. So we have 1, 1, we have 2 and 3, 3 here. So like 1, 2, 3. And also don't forget that here we get that we are the transformer here of the energies. You know, as above, so below, so above as below. So maybe back to the electricity and Aquarius energies. And let's just see what's going on with maybe all this geomagnetism right now. What is that about? What is it that it's trying to, or how are we responding to that? What could that be about? What kind of wisdom could that be about? What could that be about? And definitely some of you will, through the water cards and the ancestral lineage card over here, you will definitely feel connected to someone that you have known in this lifetime that was crossed over, or maybe you will start to open up to what we will call like spirit guides from another world. Okay, let's have this card first. Oh, we have Merkaba twice. Okay, it's about being present in all directions. This is like being omnipresent, right? Talking about transcendence, ascension, you're rising up. That's what's coming in now. That's what we are feeling. We feel that we are in all directions here, like we are clear feeling and clear seeing and clear knowing. And then we have 5 cards coming in. 5 is also the number of transformation. So I would just briefly mention them to you, and then just go with them however they resonate with you. But this is about Emerald Tablet activation, cosmic ordering, divine alchemy, and conscious manifesting. Okay, so whatever it is that we are thinking about or feeling right now, we are manifesting it. So be aware what's going on within you. Where are you sending your thoughts? Whom are you sending your thoughts towards? And then we have karmic board clearing, talking about energetic clearing, rewrite your story and live your truth. Again, we have some Merkaba energies here, but Saturn in Pisces as well. We're breaking our karma. At this point, we have Soul Star activation, the Merkaba again. Okay, talking about fulfilling soul contracts, remembering who you are, back to the sun, and the big purification right now, maybe even awareness of why we are here, who we are, that we are also responding to light. Then we have the Hathor light codes, light immersion, full system upgrade, and power recall. Again, back to power. Very mothering, nurturing energies being sent to us. Someone like looking at these eyes, right? It's like, and I'm hearing the bright mother for some reason, okay? So Hathor light codes coming in as well, being present in the moment, feeling that we can even see what's going on behind us and next to us, above us, below us, and we can see clearly what's going on in front of us. We're becoming more conscious, and this is our own doing, okay? Whatever's coming back to us right now, whatever truths are being revealed, it's something that we have created ourselves. We are back to Lemurian seed codes, embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, living with grace, okay? So maybe some of you have a selenite with you. That is definitely the crystal I'm being called to here, or drawn to here. Selenite, that is a good stone for restoring our physical bodies, okay? Lemurian, something is calling us way back to that civilization, maybe 300 or to 600,000 years ago. And again, sensitivity. We had a card with sensitivity, card number 35. We are becoming more sensitive towards our ancestral lineages and what prior civilizations have already been through. That is also part of our structure, and that is the structure that is being released now for whatever the reason, and for all the tensions being held here. Okay, so on that notion, or on that note, interesting. So on that note, I will again thank you for your time, and I'll wrap up the reading here. And I hope that you have been inspired through using perhaps your inner hidden cat, your sensuality here, reading between the lines, feeling that stuff is coming together. However, somehow we just need to break the old structure completely open. So try not to get too triggered. Remember to drink a lot of water and get yourself grounded, either through meditation or being out in nature, through chanting, listening to music, taking a deep dive in the ocean or the lake if you can, if you live nearby. Okay, try to communicate with the four elements. I feel that that is what's really up and running for us right now. That's what we need to become more conscious about, okay? So take great care of yourselves out there, and thank you so much. Hope I see you next time, and bye for now.